Chapter 15, Part 2 of The Nightland by William Hope Hodgson. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. The Nightland. 15. Past the House of Silence, Part 2. And mine own maid to know how it be with me, and she to have said nothing, scarce wotting even as her spirit did set it through her lips, and she before then to have forgotten so utter as I, and now she to be stirred likewise with me, so that in verity we to hold hands in the great darkness upon the slope, and to wait till the pain and strange trouble did go somewhat from our hearts, and we to have power again to know truly that we did be again together in sweet verity after a mighty eternity. And thus did we go, and even in that strange night to have an everlasting coming together, so that surely our two spirits to be nigh made one somewise, and this to be that sweet and holy thing which I do name love, and it to be my glory and astonishment that love hath come unto me. And with you that have love, I am as a brother in holy delight, but with all that have not known love, or to have missed love, I am a mourner, and my heart to pray that they to know this wonder ere they die, for else shall they die so green and bitter as they be born, and to have grown nowise unto ripeness, which doth be charity, the end of life and the crown of humanity. And surely I to go forward again now with my telling. And you to know that on the 8th day upon the slope, about the end of the 9th hour, there to be an upward seeming of light, afar before us in the darkness, and did show as a dull and vague sheen above us in the night. And truly I to know that we did become at last anear unto the Nightland. And we went upward then very eager through the dark, and the dim shine did grow ever, so that we soon to see it very plain, as a looming of light afar upward. And we ever to climb and to go onward, and lo, in the 14th hour of that day we came up slowly out of the night upon the slope, and stood at the ending of that strange road where the silent ones walk. And surely it did be as that I was come home, and to have set my feet again upon familiar lands. And this to bring to you how far off I did seem to have gone, and now to be come again to a known place. And we went upward upon the road, until that we did truly have topped the slope, and at last to look out over all the wonder and mystery of that land. And I never to be rid of the utter gladness of knowing that I was come there again after so strange a journey, and that mine own had I brought with me out of all the unknown world. Yet truly I also never to have forgetting that this familiar land of strangeness did be the last test and the greatest dreadfulness of our journey, and anxiousness did hang upon me. For I now to have to take the preciousness of mine own among and beyond all that danger of horrid forces, and of monstrous things and beast-men and the like. And truly I did be like to trouble. And in verity I did stare with a fierce eagerness unto the far-off place in the middle part of the Nightland where did be the mighty pyramid. And surely it there to shine in the midst of the land, and did be mine home, where never had I dared hope I should return. And I set mine arm very swift and eager about the maid, and pointed, so that she see quickly the wonder and safe mightiness of that which did be our refuge for all our life to come, if but that we to win unto it. And the maid to look with a great and earnest soberness and a lovely gladness and utter soul and heart interest unto that place that bare me and where I to have come from and now to take her. And long she looked, and sudden came round unto me, and set her arms quick about my neck, and burst unto a strange and happy weeping. And I to hold her gentle to me, and let her cry very natural, until that she was something unpent. And lo, when that she was eased, she to stand close beside me, and to look again unto the mighty pyramid, and afterward, as she to steady, she to ask 100 questions, so utter eager, and so to thrill with joy and excitement, as that she did be a glad child. And an 100 questions I answered, and showed her new things and wonders uncounted. And of all strangeness that she then to see, there did none so to shake her in the spirit with terror as did that dreadful and horrid house, which did be the House of Silence. And it was as that her very being did know and be repulsed of some horror that did concern and be in that house, so that she to want to hide in the bushes that did be anigh to the road. And truly I to think this wise, and to remember and to beware suddenly that we did be indeed come now into the power of monstrosity, which did be utter and for ever abroad in that land. And surely we went then in among the bushes that did grow clumped upon the side of the road, as you to remember, and afterward I calmed this new fear that had come so quick upon mine own, and she then to peer forth with me from the bushes and to have renewed sight over the land. And the House of Silence to stand upon that low hill of which you do know, and did not be a very great way off, somewise toward the right. Yet, as you shall have remembering, it did take me some long and bitter hours upon mine outward way ere I did be come from under the shadow of it, as we do say, unto the top part of the mighty slope. And this to have been in the main because of the utter care that I did need to bring me safe past the house, for I to have gone long and weary upon my hands and knees among the bushes, as you remember, and oft to pause and to be so still as death, lest that the power of the house to have become aware of my passing. And truly we to need again so utter a care, when that we make to go past unto our mighty home, and this to be heavy upon my heart, and I to be in that same moment anxious that we have haste to the trial, and yet very willing, if it might be, that we not make it for ever. And indeed, after that we had peered a good while from the bushes, I to consider that we do well to eat now, and afterward to have a safe place for our slumber, so that we go fresh to the horrid dangers and dreadfulness that did be before us upon our way. And we then to look about, and soon to find a great boulder that did be set with bushes. And we made our place for sleep against the boulder, and the bushes went all around, so that we did be complete hid. And in verity we to be very cold, as we had been those 2 past days, whiles that we made toward the top of the mighty slope. And now we to have the full chill of the night-land, and did be very glad to have the cloak, so that we eat and drank whilst that we sat together and the cloak round us. And afterward the maid set the cloak about us for our sleep, and we then to kiss very sober, and I with anxiousness in the heart, but she with less, because she to have rest in me. And so we lay down to our sleep, and the discourse ready in my hand, and my spirit wakeful against any terror that should come anigh to us in our slumber, and the maid I warned to be likewise wary. And surely we slept and waked, and there had gone 8 good hours, and naught was come anigh to us to harm us. And we eat and drank, and did hark oft, and looked out from among the bushes, but there did be naught abroad to set dread upon our spirits, and so we did be more content and well rest and are ready for the further journeying. Now I had the maid to wear the cloak, because of the chill of the land, but she in the first to refuse, save I also to have it in my turn. But truly I did feel that it should smother me, and that I need all my freedom of my body, lest there come any thing sudden upon us. And all this I showed mine own, and also that we should have weary work, and to creep much, so that I should be warm by my labour of going, and she likewise mayhap. And she then to consent, because she saw that I did be earnest and to burn with anxiousness, yet had me to promise that I take the cloak if that the chill of the land gat me anywise bitter. Now we made a pause, when that we have our gear upon us, and we looked well out over the land, and surely alway our eyes did gaze in the ending upon that far wonder of light and safeness, which did be the mighty pyramid. And I to be never ceased from telling mine own this thing and that thing concerning the great refuge, and she to be constant stunned unto silence and delight of wonder, and anon shaken unto a multitude of questionings, so that truly we did be as that we never to have done making known one unto the other. Now as you have knowledge, the House of Silence stood upon a low hill, and the road did bend about the bottom of the hill, and this way did I come, when that I was on mine outward way. Yet now there to be a new plan of journeying come into my mind. For, as you do remember, I did take somewise of 11 great days from the pyramid unto the top part of the mighty slope, because that I had gone diversely and round about to the northwest of the plain of blue fire. And surely, as now I looked, it did seem that we should try a short passage, and thereby become free out of all danger in but a space of 4 or 5 days, if only we to succeed. And I stood a good while very hushed and anxious, and did consider this new way, and did presently point it out to the maid, how that we saw the mighty redoubt straight to the back of the low hill where stood the House of Silence, and mayhap we might chance to find a safe going that way, and that I did ponder that wise. For indeed, as you do know, we must go nigh past the house, even did we return by the long journeying, and this too be because that the bushes did make a cover only near to the road, and all to be a country of bare rock beyond the bushes on that side of the road which did be to the north and west. Now presently I had formed my intention regarding our way, and told all to mine own, and how that we do have alway an utter caution. And the danger I made so plain to her as I did know it, and she then to beware in her heart the need there to be of care and wiseness for ever as we did go. And we then to make forward into the Nightland, and to be gone from the top part of that great deep in which there to be hid strange lands, as you do know. And surely it to be like that none should ever to go that way again for an eternity, or maybe for ever. And so went we forward with a new caution. And we came out from among the bushes upon the northwest of the road, and crossed unto the eastward side. And here the bushes to grow very plentiful, so that I led on with a cheerfulness of hope within my heart. And alway I went so far to the southeast as the bushes would give us their cover, and this way I made that we should scarce to pass within a great mile of the dread and horrid house, though in verity this to be most dreadful close. And we walked then for 6 hours, and went sometimes creeping, and oft stooped, and ever with a great caution. And in the 6th hour we made a rest, and eat and drank, and afterward went forward again. And in the 10th hour were we come something nigh unto the house, for truly we to be off from the road where the silent ones walk, and so to go more straightly, and alway to save distance. And we kept so far outward from the house as we might, but could pass it not more than a great mile off, because that the bushes did have their margin near upon our left as we went, and there to be bareness of rock beyond, and fire-holes in this part and that amid the starkness of the rocky spaces, that should be like to show us very plain if that we came outward from the bushes. And moreover there went upward into the everlasting night one of those towers of silence, which did be in this part and that part of the land, and were thought to hold strange watchers. And the tower stood great and monstrous afar off in the midst of the naked rocks, showing very grey and dim, save when the flare of some great fire did beat upward in the land, and set huge and monstrous lights upon it. And we do have need alway now to remember this tower, and to keep the more so to the sheltered hiding of the bushes. Yet in verity we do have little thought of aught, save of the grim and threatening terror and monstrousness which did stand for ever upon that low hill, and did be the House of Silence. And in the 11th hour we did go creeping from bush unto bush, and did be as shadows that went in the mixed greyness and odd shinings of that land. And the grim and dreadful house did be now unto our right, and did loom huge and utter silent above us in the night. And the lights of the house did shine steadfast and deathless with a noiseless shining, as that they shone out of the quiet of some drear and unnatural eternity. and there did a seeming of unholiness to brood in the air, and a sense of all and deathly knowledge, so that surely our hiding did seem but a futile thing unto our spirits, for it was to us as that we did be watched quiet and alway by a power, as we slipped gentle from bush unto bush. And when the 12th hour did be nigh, we to begin to draw clear of the house, and surely there to come somewhat of ease into my brain and heart, for it did be as that we should come clear of all harm. And I turned to the maid, that I whispered gentle and loving encouragement unto her. And lo, in that moment mine own gave out a sudden low sobbing, and was gone still upon the earth. And truly my heart did seem to die in me, for I knew that there did be directed a force out of the house of silence, which did be aimed unto the spirit of mine own maid. And I caught the maid instant into mine arms, and I set my body between her body and the dreadness of the house, and surely my spirit to perceive that there beat out at her a dreadful force, which did have in it an utter silence and a bleakness of desolation. And lo, I saw in a moment that the force had no power to slay me, but did surely make to slay the maid. And I set my spirit and my will about her for a shield if this might be, and I had her to mine arms as that she did be mine own babe. And I stood upright, for there did be no more use to hide, and I knew that I must walk forever until that I have mine own maid to the shelter of the mighty refuge, or to walk until I die, for only with speed might I save her from the dread and horrid malice of that force. And I set free the discos from my hip, and had it in mine arms beside the maid, and I strode forward out of the bushes, and put forth my strength that I journey with an utter speed. And ever my spirit did know of that monstrous force which did be direct upon us, to the destruction of mine own maid. And odd whiles, as I walked, I called mine own by her olden love name, and by the new name of Nanni, but never did she move or seem even that she lived, and surely my heart sickened within me with a mighty despair, so that a constant madness did begin to thrill in me and to make me something monstrous in strength, with my fierce agony and intentness to save. And one hope only had I, that I bring her yet living into the shelter of the mighty refuge, and so swift to the care of the doctors. And lo, I did strive to be wise in my despair, for I made a quick halting soon, and warmed a broth of the tablets and water upon a hot rock, and strove that I set some of the broth between the closed lips of mine own maid. Yet did it be useless, as I to have known before in my heart, and alway I kept my body and my will and my spirit and my love between the maid and the dreadfulness of that house. And I made some of the water and dashed it upon the face of mine own, and I chafed her hands, but truly it to have no use, neither did I truly to think it should be like to. And I wiped her face then, and harked to her dear heart, and surely it did beat, very slow and hushed, and afterward I wrapped her in the cloak. And I forced myself then that I eat some of the tablets, and I drink a great lot of the water, for a fever did seem to burn in me, and moreover I to mean that I lacked not for strength to my task. And I set my gear upon me very speedy, and I lifted mine own beloved, that did be now so hushed, that once had been so merry and dearly naughty. And surely I nigh choked as the thought upraised me, but I set it back, and did but go the more furious. And surely no man did ever go so fast and constant upon his feet through an eternity, for I was come again to my strength, and there did be a madness of intention and despair upon me, and I went on forever. And at each 6th hour, when I stopped very brief to eat and to drink, I made to bring mine own to her senses, yet she never to come, and alway her heart to grow the more feeble, so that in the end I did utter fear to hark, and did but set food and drink unto me, and onward again with an utter fierceness. And why there came not any sweet power of goodness to help me in my strait, I never to know, but did call desperate upon all good things to aid me, as I went to save mine own. but there naught to come, so that I had grown into cursings, but that I did not to lose my wisdom to any useless foolishness. And alway as I went, I to see the land blindly, and oft vague and grey, as that I did look at naught real, and again with strange flashings of light and the glare of fires, and anon to see the land as it did be, and all odd whiles to have now to me the feel of a dread and monstrous dreaming. And surely I sped forever through the dreadful hours, and went neither to the right nor to the left. Neither did I strive to hide in the bushes, nor to evade aught, for I knew that the maid died slowly in mine arms, and there to be no more gain in life, save by speed, that I have her swift to the mighty pyramid to the care of the doctors. And a great and despairing madness grew ever within me. And thrice I do have a vague memory that there came creatures at me from the dark of the land, but surely I slew them with the discos, and have no remembering thereof, only that mine anger did boil in me, and I to know once that the discos did run blood in my hand. And lo, there to come sudden unto my spirit the knowledge that the ether of the world did be stirred, and indeed I did be surely sighted by the great millions of the mighty pyramid. And they to have seen me come forward into the sight of the spy-glasses, and that I did bring a maid in mine arms out of all the night of the world. And truly, as I did after learn, the dear Master Monstruaken had discovered me great hours before, for there had been a steadfast watch kept in the tower of observation for my returning, if that ever I should return. And the might of the great spy-glass had shown me plain a good while gone, and that I did carry somewhat, that was surely the maid that I did go to find. Yet had the master given an order that no word be said abroad to the peoples of this discovering, lest that the emotions of the millions to tell overmuch unto the evil powers of the land. But now had the millions also come unto knowledge, for many had ceased not to watch through their spy-glasses, and the news to travel very speedy through the cities, and surely now there did be a constant spiritual noise in the night, to be heard only of the spirit, yet to suffice to wake and to warn all that land. And truly, as I after to learn, the Master Monstruaken did know by the instruments that there came a force out of the House of Silence, and this to trouble him greatly, so that he set the word through the pyramid by the hour-slips that all the peoples strive to contain their emotion, lest they bring an harm and a destruction upon me, by warning the land with the greatness of their feelings. Yet in verity this did be useless, for the peoples did be very human, and could nowise check their gladness and great wonder and excitement, for it was to them so great a wonder almost as we should suffer if that a man in this age should go beyond death in search of his beloved, and afterward to come backward unto the living. And surely in such a case how mighty should be our amazement, and this to be somewise how they did be, yet with it also a sweet and natural gladness and strong welcoming, which doth be the true beat of the human heart unto the wanderer. And presently, and through all the time that I came forward across the land, there did be mayhaps 100,000,000 that did never cease to watch me from the embrasures, from the view-tables, and from all the vantages. Yet for a long while only they which possessed strong spying-glasses did be able to see me truly, for I was a great way off. And millions did but stare vainly unto that part where I was said to be, and the hour-slips to come out 4 times in the hour, and to tell aught that did be known. And so shall you perceive that humanity did have but grown the more human. And in verity I went forward with all my strength, and did drive heedless through the miles and the night, and scarce conscious of aught, because of the aching madness of despair that did grow ever within me. For I knew that mine own maid died alway in mine arms, as I did carry her. And later, a monstrous space of hours it to seem, I knew that I was come to that part of the road where it did bend somewhat unto the Vale of Red Fire, and this did be something anigh to that wilderness where the youths did fight with the giant men. and I came over to the road and urged my body utter furious across the land, and surely in that moment when I crossed the road great numbers of the millions did see me that had not seen before. And there went a shaking in the ether of the world, because of the sudden emotion of so mighty a multitude. And lo, it did be as that in that moment the land was at last waked, for there came from far away unto the eastward a faint and dreadful laughter, as that a monstrous being laughed unto itself in some lost and dreadful country. And the laughter passed over the land, and did echo strangely, as it did seem, in this part and that, and presently to go rolling round in the far and hid west lands, and to be as that it wandered a while amid the far mountains of the outer lands, and was presently lost from my hearing. And my heart chilled a little maybe, but yet did I not care overmuch, for I to lack all if that I lacked death, if that I not to be given power to save mine own. Yet did I make a little pause, so that I gat the knife from the belt of the maid, and did also to bear the capsule, for if that there came a destruction upon us, I to make instant sure that mine own maid be safe unto death, and I then to go quickly with the capsule. And afterward I again upon my way. And ever upon each 6th hour I did stop that I eat and drink, and did onward again, even as a machine. For I commanded myself to this duty of victual, that I lacked not my strength unto the saving of the maid. Yet truly I did seem to choke alway as I strove with the tablets. And lo, ever as I went forward did the land awake, and my spirit to know that great forces did be abroad restless, and the monsters to begin wild roamings, because that they also to know of the unrest that did be come into the land, and there to go presently odd roarings across the land from night unto night. And I to go forward the more desperate, and to step neither to the right nor to the left, but to make direct unto my mighty home. And the veil of red fire did be soon afar off unto my right, and the bulk of the watcher of the northeast to be somewise unto my left before me, and the great back to be toward me. And truly I looked at the brute force, as it did be as that I drew nigh unto a mountain of watchfulness. And above it in the everlasting night did be the blue shining of the luminous ring, and the ring shed a light downward over the monster force, and the shoulders did be huge and humped, even as two small hills, and it looked forever from me through eternity unto the pyramid, and this to be plain though I did be a great way off from it. And sudden, as I went, there came somewhat out of a bush unto my left, and rose up at me, very long and tall, and surely it did be some kind of a man, and came at me, and my fury and my despair came inward upon me in a moment, so that I troubled not to set down the maid, but leapt at the thing, where it did be yet half hid in the dark. And lo, it died in pieces, and the discos did roar to content my heart an instant. And I then onward again the more savage, so that my heart did be a dreadful thing within me. And a great while I went then, and to have a vague remembering that this time and that there came things at me from out of the dark, but surely they to have died very speedy, that I not to remember more. And the hours did pass in spaces of time that did be made of terror and numbness, and an utter and ever-growing fury of despair. And I did be at last as that I did burn inward with a grim and dreadful energy, and seemed to grow the less tired, and to come over the land with a stronger ease, and somewhat as that I did desire things to come unto me, that I have something to ease my heart. For lo, mine own maid did be dying in mine arms as I carried her, and I to be in a bleak and sickened dread, so that I lacked all courage now to listen unto her heart as I have told, and went burning and dry and hot in the eyes. And ever there sounded the roarings across the land, and there did be added presently lower and more horrid and dread noises. And later I heard a far thudding of the earth, and in a little there went past me a great man, running so heavy that he did make a shaking as he passed me, Yet in verity, by a sweet mercy, he saw me not, and was gone onward in a moment and lost utter into the night. And the ether of the world to be full of the trouble of the peoples, as the man passed me, and afterward there to be a stirring of glad thankfulness. And truly alway my spirit did know strangely, as in a dream, that the millions set their sympathy and pity and help about me, and did girt me about with human love and with encouragement and with uplifted thoughts. Yet in verity did all be as water beside the fierce wine of my love and despair, which did urge me onward in a natural lacking of all dread save for mine own. And truly this doth be the way of love, and shall make fearless the heart of the weakest. And there to be prayers in the night, and all the ether to be surged with the spiritual trouble and callings and cryings of the millions, so that indeed if that my spirit so to hear these things, it to be conceived that these do pass outward into the everlasting, and to break upon the shore of eternity in an anguish even as a visible foam of supplication. And surely the unity of love of the millions did make a natural force about me. For in verity the force did come from the house to seem to be somewhat eased from the maid, yet there to be no surety in this, for all did be desperation and turmoil in my heart, and I to have but one thought in my brain, that I bring mine own swift across the land unto the mighty pyramid, and so unto the doctors. And lo, there stole presently from afar the deep and dreadful baying of the hounds, so that I knew we did be surely dead, save that a miracle should happen. And I asked in my heart in a fierce and mad fashion, why that they did not to rig one of the olden shooting weapons, that they shoot from the pyramid, and so to give me some aid in mine extremity. And behold, even as I did be so bitter, there went afar upward in the everlasting night, where did shine the last light, the sharp flashing of the set speech, and I did warm in my heart a little with hope, for the master monstruaken did see that I was now all discovered, and there to be no more use for silence, and did speak straight and helpful unto me. And I made to read the set speech, but mine eyes had been mad and near blinded with lost hope. But in a moment I saw clear. And behold, the dear master monstruaken bid me to keep good my courage, for that they did have made ready 3 of the olden weapons. And moreover, they to save me, even if that they have to turn loose the earth current over the land. And he commended me with honour, and that I strive forward yet a little while, for that 100,000 men did be prepared, and did even then go downward in their armour by the lifts. And surely, as you think, my heart eased a little in me, and there burned somewhat of a hope in my spirit, that I yet to bring mine own unto the doctors ere it be too late. And the baying of the hounds did grow nearer in the night, and there to grow ever the roarings over the land, and a sense of evil and monstrousness to be abroad in all the night. And lo, I to have come by this so that the watcher of the northeast did be backward upon my left, and I looked keen and fearful now at the monster force. And behold, the great bell-ear did quiver continually, so that I saw the monster made somewhat known unto all the land. And the monster did look as ever unto the pyramid, and did be a great and silent hill of life that did lean toward the pyramid, and the light from the ring came downward upon the monstrous hide, which did be set in vast folds and wrinkles upon it, and the monster to know of me, yet never to move, neither to show life, save that the ear did quiver so horridly. And I knew that they made some great preparation in the pyramid for our defence, for all the night did begin now to shake and to quiver with the mighty beat of the earth current. End of chapter 15, part 2.